Hello and welcome to One Perception. Today we are going to unveil our top 10 mysterious places in the world. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. Let's get right to it. Number 10, Area 51. Located at Groom Lake in the middle of the barren desert of southern Nevada, Area 51 is a U.S. Air Force installation that has become infamous for a speculated connection with unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Conspiracy theories surrounding the base suggest that it is used for the testing of alien technology recovered from supposed crash sites, like the famous one in Roswell, New Mexico. This has been fueled by the fact that the base was a secret for many years and is still inaccessible to the general public. As a result, this innocuous-looking military installation has become an intrinsic part of the modern mythology and urban legends of the 20th century, with a large influence on media and pop culture. Number 9, Giant Crystal Cave. The Nika Mine's Giant Crystal Cave is also one of the strangest places on the planet. These massive gleaming mineral pillars, deep within the Earth's innards, are enough to make you feel claustrophobic. The extraordinary cave was discovered in 2000 by two brothers who were searching for fresh ore deposits in Nika Mountain, National Geographic reported. They came across an unexpected and awesome sight. Massive, milky white crystals towered around them, filling a horseshoe-shaped cave. These crystals are actually made of gypsum, a type of mineral used as a filler in the paper and textile industries. It is also used in cement to make buildings. What is astounding is the fact that these crystal pillars are more than 500,000 years old. Many are so big that they can be easily walked on. Since they were buried beneath the earth for years, the crystals kept growing. The Cave of Crystals, as it became named, is nestled 290 meters underground, topped by a mountain rich in lead, zinc, and silver. Since its discovery by the mining company Industries Pinols, the subterranean chamber has drawn researchers from around the world, enticing them with both rare beauty and scientific mystery. It is a fascinating case study of how creatures cope with high heat and humidity. Number 8, the Catacombs, France. The Paris Catacombs are a network of old quarried tunnels beneath Paris that serve as the ultimate resting place for about 6 million Parisians. As Paris grew into its role as a major European hub, it eventually ran into a major problem. By the 17th century, enough people had lived and died in Paris that its cemeteries were overflowing, overstuffed with graves to the point when corpses, at times, became uncovered. And so the solution arose to place them in the centuries-old tunnels that had existed beneath the streets of Paris since the 13th century, remnants of a time when limestone quarries were mined to build Paris into a thriving city. The majority of the skulls and bones were collected from the city's overcrowded cemeteries in the 18th and 19th centuries. The bones were not arranged in the horrific displays seen today until the government realized its potential as a tourist attraction. Today, a little more than a mile of the catacombs is open for visitors to explore. The public entrance is located in Paris 14 arrondissement, at 1 Avenue du Colonel Henri Roll-Tanguy. It takes about 45 minutes to walk through. Guides are available, but not required. Visitors can also purchase audio guides for €3. The tunnels extend many more miles under the city, but it's illegal to visit most areas. Number 7, Stonehenge. No list of ancient and weirdly mysterious places would be complete without featuring Stonehenge. It may not have the complexity of a Mayan city, nor the sheer size of the pyramids, but it is fascinating nevertheless. The 5,000 years old Stonehenge monument in Wiltshire, England, shown here bathed in pastel twilight, has been examined by scientists for centuries. And though our understanding of the structure has increased greatly, particularly in recent years, questions persist about who built Stonehenge and why. Its purpose is a mystery, although its solstice alignments are well known. Stonehenge in southern England ranks among the world's most iconic archaeological sites and one of its greatest enigmas. The megalithic circle on Salisbury Plain inspires awe and fascination, but also intense debate some 5,000 years after it was built by ancient Britons who left no written record. The monument's mysterious past has spawned countless tales and theories. According to folklore, Stonehenge was created by Merlin, the wizard of Arthurian legend, who magically transported the massive stones from Ireland, where giants had assembled them. Another legend says invading Danes put the stones up, and another theory says they were the ruins of a Roman temple. Modern-day interpretations are no less colorful. Some argue that Stonehenge is a spacecraft landing area for aliens, and even more say it's a giant fertility symbol in the shape of female genitalia. Archaeological investigation of the site dates back to the 1660s, when it was first surveyed by antiquarian John Aubrey. Aubrey wrongly credited Stonehenge to the much later Celts, believing it to be a religious center presided over by Druid priests. Centuries of fieldwork since show the monument was more than a millennium in the making, starting out 5,000 years ago as a circular earthen bank and ditch. A complicated pattern of wooden posts was replaced in about 2600 BC. Nobody knows for sure who built it, but Stonehenge is one of the most iconic, mysterious places in the world. Number 6. The Great Pyramid. All three of Giza's famed pyramids and their elaborate burial complexes were built during a frenetic period of construction, from roughly 2000 to 2400 BC. It's been said that the pyramids was built by aliens from space, while some say it was built by the pharaohs. No one knows for sure who built them. The Giza pyramids, built to endure an eternity, have done just that. The monumental tombs are relics of Egypt's Old Kingdom era and were constructed 4,500 years ago. Egypt's pharaohs expected to become gods in the afterlife. To prepare for the next world, they erected temples to the gods and massive pyramid tombs for themselves, filled with all the things each ruler would need to guide and sustain himself in the next world. Many people think of the site as just a cemetery in the modern sense, but it's a lot more than that, says Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, and Tufts University Egyptologist Peter Dermanulian. In these decorated tombs, you have wonderful scenes of every aspect of life in ancient Egypt, so it's not just about how Egyptians died, but how they lived. Tomb art includes depictions of ancient farmers working their fields and tending livestock, fishing and fowling, carpentry, costumes, religious rituals, and burial practices. Inscriptions and texts also allow research into Egyptian grammar and language. Almost any subject you want to study about pharaonic civilization is available on the tomb walls at Giza, Dermanulian says. To help make these precious resources accessible to all, Dermanulian heads the Giza Archives Project, an enormous collection of Giza photographs, plans, drawings, manuscripts, object records, and expedition diaries that enables virtual visits to the plateau. Number 5. Qin Shi Huang's tomb. In 1974, farmers in China's Shaanxi province accidentally unearthed one of the biggest archaeological finds of the 20th century, the life-size terracotta army of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, 259 BC, 210 BC. The intricately carved figures aren't a mystery. Historians know that the clay army was created to defend China's first emperor in the afterlife. What isn't known, however, is where exactly the emperor is buried or what treasures his burial chamber might contain. The first emperor's final resting place is the most opulent tomb ever constructed in China, according to ancient documents describing its construction. An underground palace, complete with a surrounding kingdom, the mausoleum is made up of a network of caves and even included a state-of-the-art drainage system. Whether archaeologists will ever have the technology they need to safely excavate the tomb, which also happens to contain extremely high levels of mercury, remains a mystery, as do the many treasures that lay inside. Number 4. Highgate Cemetery, England. The Highgate Cemetery opened in the year 1839, which was a part of what is often now called the Magnificent Seven. Due to the overcrowdedness of the graveyards, they were attached to the churches individually. The cemetery was within the city boundary. The province then concluded that it's necessary to allow 7 large cemeteries in the area. This concern was seen as a health hazard for the people living in the locality and disrespecting the dead. Later, the cemetery was designed by Stephen Geary, who is an architect and an entrepreneur. He is the one behind the look of the haunted graveyard. In the year 1969, on Christmas Eve, a group was walking around the cemetery's ground, to which one of the members from the group sworn to have seen a man walking past the graveyard, which was believed to be an apparition. The name of the person who saw the vampire was David Ferrant. Most of them who wandered around exploring the cemetery didn't see that specific spirit David talked about. but many claim to have seen many other spirits in the Highgate Cemetery. Some of the occurrences were paranormal. An individual named Sean Manchester was the second one to witness the same vampire that David came across in the Highgate Cemetery. According to him, the spirit they saw could have been that of the king vampire of the undead. People said that the monster was a nobleman and practiced dark magic during his whole lifetime. Hence comes the vampire theory. Earlier 1970s, it was speculated by many that, in England, there was a local group who believed to have been performing Satanism. Soon, the satanic movement took an ardent interest in the place where the vampire supposedly rested, and efforts were made by many to summon him. What a mystery. What do you think? Number 3. Isla de las Muñecas, Island of the Dolls, Mexico. This haunted location is not for the faint of heart. Isla de las Muñecas in Mexico, aka Island of the Dolls, was never intended to be a tourist destination. Legend says a girl was found mysteriously drowned on the island by its caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera. He found a doll nearby, and assuming it was hers, he hung it to a tree as a way of showing respect. He was apparently haunted by the spirit of the girl after that and started hanging more dolls in an attempt to please her. People say the dolls are now possessed by her spirit. Some even claim they hear the dolls whispering to each other. After 50 years of collecting dolls and hanging them on the island, Julian was found dead, drowned in the same spot where the girl died. Many people on the island believe that Julian has joined the other spirits of the island. The locals are very much convinced that the Isla de las Muñecas is a charmed place. After Julian's death in 2001, since then it has become a tourist attraction, where visitors bring more dolls. Since the death of Julian, the island has become very famous and has even been featured in many articles and even TV shows. Number 2. Mount Amei, China, way up in the clouds. Ever wanted to live in the clouds? Well, at this destination, that dream will become a reality. Get ready for an experience that will take you 3,000 meters above sea level, quite literally above the clouds. The Golden Temple and structures surrounding it is magical on their own, but become even more spectacular with the cloud mist surrounding them. This summit is quite popular among tourists, so it's best to head up in the early morning to avoid the crowds. Early in the morning is the best time of the day because you'll experience the sun rising in the distance, with the Golden Temple shining by the sun's first beam of the day. Number 1. Yonaguni Ruins, Japan, a long-forgotten civilization. This Atlantis-like ancient city, located in the Ryukyu Islands of Japan, is a mysterious underwater pyramid structure nestled in the depths of the ocean. While this underwater city was once thought to be a natural creation, further research found that it's actually the remnants of a long-forgotten civilization. Structure that was discovered in the mid-1980s near Yonaguni Island, Japan. While some believe the ziggurat-like formation is from an ancient city, others argue that it was naturally created. The rectangular monument, which was first detected by a scuba diver, is more than 116 feet 50 meters long and some 65 feet 20 meters wide. A number of scholars have visited the site, but its origin remains uncertain. According to some, the monument is a man-made stepped pyramid. In addition to many straight lines, some of the rocks purportedly have carvings. Nearby are other formations, suggesting a submerged ancient city. This theory contends that the structures are at least 5,000 years old and belong to a lost civilization, possibly the legendary Mu or Lemuria. Other researchers, however, claim that the monument was naturally shaped over the years by underwater currents. They state that the symmetry of the rocks is not as pronounced as reported and that the structure appears to be made out of solid rock rather than distinct blocks, which would suggest human activity. Furthermore, they argue that the alleged carvings are naturally occurring scratches. Well, that's all on this video. Do you agree with our list? Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this and give us a thumbs up.